Our guests are here to share their personal journeys and provide a first hand account of what it is like to be a part of the Graduate Student at Large program. This episode serves as a guide for prospective students, lifelong learners, and anyone curious about the program's inner workings. During our conversation, we'll uncover the program's core features, including the courses that left a lasting impact, the renowned professors who guide students, and the dynamic environment that fosters intellectual growth. Additionally, we'll explore the challenges and rewards of being part of this academic community and discuss how it has shaped the careers and lives of our alumni. So whether you're considering the Graduate Student at Large program or simply intrigued by the possibilities it offers, Conversations at Large is your ticket to discovering the opportunities and insights it can bring to your academic journey. So join us as we unveil the world of academic exploration through the Graduate Student at Large program at the University of Chicago. Welcome to Conversations at Large, our show dedicated to exploring the Graduate Student at Large program at the University of Chicago, commonly called GSAL. I am your host, Esther Pandian-Risky, Director of the Graduate Student at Large program here at the University of Chicago. In this second episode, entitled Trailblazing GSAL Women, Shaping Tomorrow's Leaders, I am thrilled to introduce two exceptional GSAL women alumni, both recognized as powerhouses. These remarkable women, Nina Karkaban and Jojo Chui, have dedicated their academic and professional lives to advancing immigrant employment equity and revolutionizing refugee resettlement. Our guests are here to share their personal journeys and provide a first-hand account of what it's like to be a part of the Graduate Student at Large program. This episode serves as a guide for prospective students, lifelong learners, and anyone curious about the program's inner workings. A quick note, for those of you unfamiliar with our GSAL program, remember, GSAL is a Graduate Student at Large program. This is the oldest program at the University of Chicago and allows scholars and practitioners from all over the world with a minimum bachelor's degree to take credit-bearing courses for grades in all graduate divisions and professional schools at the University of Chicago. The GSAL program results in transcripts featuring grades from the University of Chicago, and our vast alumni network showcases countless individuals who have leveraged this invaluable experience to pursue prestigious graduate programs and secure professional positions all across the globe. So whether you're considering the Graduate Student at Large program or just intrigued by the possibilities it offers, Conversations at Large is your ticket to discovering the opportunities and insights it can bring to your academic and professional journey. So join us as we unveil the world of academic exploration through the eyes of our alumni at the University of Chicago's Graduate Student at Large program. Welcome back to Conversations at Large, your guide to the world of academic exploration. So let's meet our alumni now. First up, we have Nina Karkaban, a GSAL alumna and current PhD student at the Harris School of Public Policy Studies at the University of Chicago. Nina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you for having me. I love this mini reunion.
Oh, yes. Welcome. And our second guest is Jojo Chui, a distinguished alumna of our Graduate Student at Large business program and a current MBA student at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. Welcome to our show, Jojo.
Thank you, Esther. It's wonderful to be here. It feels like being coming home.
That is so wonderful. So happy to see you. So it's an absolute pleasure to have you both with us today. So, I'm sure our listeners would love to hear about you. So we know that both of you were not born in the United States. So tell us what initially brought you to the United States and ultimately the journey that led you to GSAL or GSAL-B. Okay, who wants to go first?
Sure, I can start
All
us
right.
off. Thank you, Esther, for all the introduction. Makes us feel like she really talking about me.
Yes.
So as Esther mentioned, my name is Nina. I was born and raised in Algeria, the northern part of Africa. I came to the United States first as an exchange student when I was only 16, where I got the opportunity to meet people from all over the world, learn about so many cultures, and specifically learn about human rights, which was very different for me. And when I went back home, I started seeing things differently and noticing that human rights were really lacking in my country of origin. So I wanted to get involved. And long story short, as an adult, I came back to the United States and I ended up being granted asylum here in the US. And it was about 10, 11 years ago. And at that point, I wanted to get back to school because that was something that I was very passionate about, get my higher education. I started at a community college and built my way up to University of Oregon. And then I knew that I wanted to go into grad school, a PhD program. And so I started learning about the University of Chicago and Harris School of Public Policy. And that was my dream school at the time. It still is. And so I did a pre-doctoral program here at the University of Chicago for a couple of years. And during that time, I got to meet wonderful Esther and the GSL program. And I got to take classes that helped me really narrow my research down. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But that's how I got to learn about the GSL program and get to explore my interest.
It's fabulous. And I'm sure, all our listeners would love to hear about your research and a little bit about that in the future. Let's hear from you, Jojo. Tell us.
Sure, thank you, Esther. So I actually grew up in a very small city in China, but in there, I know that I always want to go beyond my limits. So I want to see a bigger world. That's the reason why after finishing my undergraduate degree, I decided to come to United States and pursue my master's degree in finance at DePaul University. And after that, it surprised to me that I'm working in this female-owned and minority business focused on accounting and insurance. But partly from my own just suggestions, we see these unique opportunities to expand our business into real estate. So at that time, I just tried to build the real estate arm from scratch and trying to find my true passion in real estate. Yeah. And it's been a very just involving and changing environment. That's the reason why it's just I want to get to a next level to have a framework and have a better strategic thinking. That's led me to want to pursue the MBA at the University of Chicago at Booth program, and which is my dream school. But I know I had a very conventional career path. That's the reason why I feel like it's a distant dream to me. And that is how one day I found the GSLB program on the website. I take a look and find this passionate Esther and the big community. That is how it led me to this program.
Oh, that's wonderful. And for all our listeners, there are two distinct programs. It's Graduate Student at Large, known as GSAL, and the Graduate Student at Large Business Program, GSAL-B, whereby students take classes specifically at Chicago Booth, and then when they're ready, they actually apply to the Chicago Booth MBA program. Thank you so much for those answers. And really connected to those journeys, Nina, can you talk a little bit about the research that you participated in originally when you joined as a research professional? And how that sort of brought you to your own research topic?
Yeah, of course. So in 2020, I applied to be a pre-doctoral student. So this is a program in economics that's becoming more and more common to prepare you for doing research once you join the PhD program. So I was lucky to work with Professor Damon Jones for a couple of years. And we worked on a project that involved a different acceptance algorithm to allocate allocate within labor people to positions. And I will talk a little bit more about that later, but that really opened my eyes about this deferred acceptance algorithm that I had no idea about, but which helped me. Actually, I applied to the National Science Foundation Fellowship, and I got to use that part of that research that I learned within my statement, and I was awarded that fellowship later.
Yes.
So it was really detrimental a couple of years where I got to learn a lot about research. So that was my first intense exposure to research. And that's during that time, I was also part of GSL program and I was taking classes. And so now my research interest, and it has always been due to my background and also to my exposure to different literature, has always been inequality. I'm very interested in inequality in general, and more specifically development economics in the continent of Africa, because that's what I'm from. So I feel very strongly about helping my people back home.
Yes.
And so, for example, a couple of projects that I work on. One of them is the one that I mentioned about the National Science Foundation Fellowship application. And that one is using the deferred acceptance algorithm to allocate refugees around the world. Because there has been research that showed that this algorithm is more fair and more efficient and other things as well. That's why I wanted to implement it in something that I really care about, which is the refugee population. And my second project that I've actually done field work on this past summer is about the legacy of slavery. So I'm focusing on the socioeconomic mobility of descendants of enslaved people in eastern Nigeria in Igbo land. Wow. So these are the kind of topics that I'm interested in. My goal is to do research that has a positive impact, hopefully, on people.
That's amazing. And I'm sure you have found faculty and a community here that is very eager to collaborate and support your research.
Absolutely. I was actually extremely pleasantly surprised when I started talking to people, even when I was a GSL student, before I even was in the program. I was able to talk to professors when I was doing my NSF application, and they were giving me feedback and encouraging me. And then now, once I'm in the program, it's even more. I get to talk to anyone, and so far I've had a great experience. And I was able to do field work my first year, which is pretty rare. So I'm very excited.
Oh, that is fascinating. And I'm sure we'll want to hear all about your field placement as well as your presentations in workshops. And that's fascinating. Jojo, please, let's hear from you. And let's hear a little bit about, I noticed you mentioned female and minority-owned company that you have been a part of, and you have really helped to support and expand. Tell us a little bit about what that means to you and why that's so important.
Yeah, as a people coming with an immigration background, I think that tells a lot about the fulfillment for me to really working in this just a minority-owned and female just organization.
Yes.
And my manager, which is the owner of the company, is passionate about helping others and also trying to voice out for all the women.
Yes.
And we always joking, we have a very significant portion of the women, women employee in our company. But we always just trying to establish a better presence for those just women, and especially in the commercial real estate. That's also one of my passion and mission, want to just be built more a platform for more just women, especially from the women with color and who want to just really pursue the commercial real estate in the future. Because normally it's just it's not just dominated by women and minority. So it's really has a lot of the challenges they face. So what we need to provide to them is the goal. So that's the reason why I'm trying to actively join a lot of associations to get a voice and also just trying to build the mentorship programs even in our company, and ideally in the later can just build a better network to support more women and to do that. And besides of that, there is another thing is I want to touch base is about the minority. Because the reason why I built the real estate from scratch is I noticed that there is a very limited resource and education channels for those new immigrations and to understand what real estate investment looks like. How do you just choose the right investment? What's a tax sufficient solution? How do I just they sometimes even don't know how to pay the tax. So they need a lot of the education resources to build the knowledge level and to empower them to make the better informed decision. That is why I decided to build this just a platform to really bring a bridge and between the resources we have in United States and with those new immigrants, so that they can have the equal opportunities to invest in all the different type of the investment opportunities.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear, Jojo. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay curious and keep the conversation going. You can contact us and learn more about the Graduate Student at Large program at gsal.uchicago.edu. This is Esther Pandian Risky signing off from Conversations at Large. Take care.